this. Slow down. What I want is a clockwise rotation on it.
Okay, so you don't actually want it to stop in the middle, you want it
no,
to be
that's where I'll operate the switch, whichever switch I'm operating. So I'll have it going in this clockwise rotation, slow clockwise rotation. I can then adjust my AVR trim, which will adjust my volts here as well. So I can bring that back so it's 0. Okay. So when that's at 0, I'm happy. I've got a slow clockwise rotation. I would then put my hand on here, then I would make that switch at the 5 to 12 position. Once I've done that, come over to my generator here that I'm controlling, and I would lower here, and I'd bring my kilowatts down to about 30 kilowatts. Whilst I'm doing that, I would adjust my AVR trim to maintain around about 0.8 power factor. You happy? I'm going to do it. So yeah, as you go. I'll demonstrate this, and then we can go through this again if Paddy's happy.
Yeah, no worries.
Right, so I'll just have a little bit of room. Right, I've already got my slow clockwise rotation. I've done that. So I'm watching here, up at 5.2. So I'm coming over here, watching I've got some power on here, and then lower on my kilowatts. I'm then going to adjust my power factor, so it's down to about 0.8 again. Around about 0.8. Watching how much load I've got on here, so I want to lower on here. Adjust my AVR trim, so I'm bringing it back up to about 0.8. You can see here I've got around about 40 kilowatts on there. I'm going to lower this again. I'm going to come down to about 20 or 30 kilowatts on here. Adjust my AVR trim so I can bring this back to 0.8. So what I'm doing is I'm turning it in the same direction, so when I'm lowering on here, I'm actually lowering on the AVR trim. Bring that down, so I'm going to bring this down a bit more.
Do you hear the sweep deck is no longer a hard map area, slinging between. That's all.
So once you get down to about 30, what I'll do is I'll be operating this switch in it here in a minute. Okay, so once I've done that, leave that, have a quick check of short supply. The lights are still on, so I'm pretty happy. 0.8 power factor, we've got 100 kilowatts of load, and about 100 amps on there. 450, and around about 60 hertz. Then come back to my generator, which is off load this time. I can now reset 60 hertz, so I want to increase on here. You can see very small adjustments, bring that back up to 60. Now AVR trim, because I'm not in parallel, or not, I haven't got two power sources, the AVR trim will now control the voltage. So as you can see, that's about 440 at the moment. I'm going to raise that, so turn it anti-clockwise and bring that up to 450. Alright, there I'm happy at 450. There, end of the lesson.